Okay, so Ava's request is she wants to make strawberry frosted donuts because they're pink and they're her favorite color. So we love this donut pan. Don't drop it, okay, Ava? So this is a non-stick material. I'm pretty sure it's aluminum steel alloy, and it's non-stick. So non-stick surfaces are not the best for you if it's not ceramic. So be very careful not to scratch. So use wood or nylon or something to remove the donuts. And as soon as they cool for like 2 minutes, take them out. Otherwise, they start to harden. And spray them, not with the non-stick spray, but spray them like an oil spritzer. Like put a little oil on them so they fall out easily. Okay, so first we're going to mix all the wet ingredients together. So it's going to be 1/4 cup of almond milk. So this is pretty cool. You can do liquids on this side and you can do dry stuff on this side. And then it's like sticky stuff, you just push it out. Is that cool? So 1/4 cup of liquids right there. So we're going to pour, so we have almond milk and I left it out so that it wouldn't get, cold. Because if you're using stuff like coconut oil, you definitely don't want to use cold almond milk because then it will make your coconut oil solidify. So then you have to microwave it. So if you didn't remember to defrost your liquids, then you can warm it up in the microwave. So 1/4 cup of your plant-based milk of your choice. 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. And don't get the Bragg's liquid aminos because they both have a yellow label, so it's easy to get it mixed up. Whatever. This is the mini mix and scraper. It's my first time using it. I love it already. So we're going to put in 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon. So this is really cool. You just put it to where you want it to go. That's cool. So this is the teaspoon. Huh? Mix and scraper?
Yes.
So that's 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar with the mother in it. And then you're going to put in 1/4 a teaspoon of vanilla. But I like almond extract, so I use almond extract. Yes, you can mix it, Ava. So we're going to do 1/4. So barely anything.
I can't.
Okay, 1/4. And then we're going to put in 1/3 cup of maple syrup. So you can measure 1/3 here. Oh, I forgot to get out the maple syrup. Unfortunately, we store our maple syrup in the fridge. So hopefully it won't mess up the recipe too much.
Gross.
What's gross? You smell the vinegar?
Yeah.
So it said 1/3 cup of maple syrup. Okay, 1/3 cup of maple syrup. You want to stir it up, Ava? And then, let's see what else. And then 3.5 tablespoons of oil. 3.5 tablespoons of oil. 4 tablespoons is pretty much 1/4 cup of oil. So this is almost 1/4 cup of oil. Okay, so then I'm just going to use avocado oil because it's a high heat oil. And it called for 3.5 tablespoons. So here's 1, 2, 3. Let's see if we can do 1/2 tablespoon. 1/2 tablespoon is 1.5 teaspoons. Okay, so 3.5 tablespoons of oil. I'm going to mix that, set it aside. And now we're going to mix the dry ingredients together. Okay, so you can mix it over here, Ava. So now I'm going to do the dry ingredients. So the dry ingredients is 1 cup of flour. So we just mix our own gluten-free flour. It has potato starch in it. It has brown rice flour. It has white rice flour and I forgot what the third one was. Tapioca starch or something. So just loosely, you can kind of even it out. It's probably better if you weigh your flour, but I don't have a scale, so we're eyeballing it. So that's 1 cup of flour. You want to mix it together, Ava?
Yeah.
And then 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So I like the Celtic sea salt a lot.
I touch it.
You want to touch it, Ava?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is wet. I'm going to dry it off. We're trying not to use too much paper towels, so we're just using these microfiber towels we got at Costco. Okay, so we're going to put in, Ava, 1/4 teaspoon of finely ground Celtic salt. And then we're going to put in 1 teaspoon of baking powder. So always use this. It's non-aluminum, I want to say, or something like that. It's aluminum free. Okay, aluminum free because you don't want to be feeding your kids aluminum. So that's 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And then mix it all up, Ava. Let's mix it all up. Can you mix it up?
I can.
You use your hands to mix it up?
Yeah.
Okay. And then 1/4 cup of diced strawberries. Okay, so we're going to mix in the wet and the dry. Let's see, what does it say? It says, combine the first 5 ingredients, the wet ingredients set aside. Grease or your donut pan. Okay, so I have the spritzer here. I filled it with olive oil and avocado oil. Avocado oil is a high heat oil and olive oil is not, but since this is all I have, I think I'm out of avocado oil in the spray. Yeah, I'm out. So I only have 1 spritzer and I didn't empty it out. So you pump it a few times to get it going. Oh, you got flour all over your hands, huh, Ava? So we pump it until you can't pump it anymore. And then you're going to spritz your donut can. So we're going to spritz it. I like it because it's a continuous spray, which is really nice. And then, so with that nonstick, you do not want to use a nonstick spray with propellant. So we're just using a spritzer where you pump and then spray it. So you're just controlling the oil, but you're not using any propellant because that would make have a very sticky residue on your nonstick ware, and then it damages it. Okay. So then after you grease your muffin pan, stir together ingredients. Okay, Ava. So I love this because see, this has a little spout here, so then you just pour it into your donut pan, and if the batter's too thick, you can always pour it into a piping bag or a Ziploc bag, cut a hole on the side and squish it in, squeeze it in, pipe it in. Or you can just spoon it in, but it takes longer. Okay. Oh, one thing you're supposed to do is we're supposed to have 1/2 cup of diced strawberries. Okay, so this is about 1/2 cup, I think. We didn't have any fresh strawberries, so we went ahead and just thawed them while the kids were at jiu-jitsu. And I'm just gonna dice it. Let's chop it. While Ava's playing with the flour over here. Are you playing with the flour over there, Ava?
Yeah.
So she picked out the apron that she's wearing. It's a queen bee apron. Super cute. Right, Ava? Do you love your apron?
Yeah.
So we got this apron from my father-in-law. It says queen bee. My husband calls me a directive queen of the house. So it's highly appropriate. And my daughter is very much a princess. So it's very appropriate that she's wearing a queen bee apron. And she loves to sing. Oh, this is the small Santoku knife, I think. And so Ava loves to sing like Beyonce and stuff. So it makes sense, of course, that she is wearing a queen bee apron. Right, Ava? Right, Ava? So call for a half a cup of diced strawberries. These frozen strawberries had a little bit of green strawberry leaves on it. And then if you want to make the color really beautiful, you can always mix in some beets. You know, some beets. So I'm gonna thinly mince some beets. It's probably better if you like run it through the processor or you know, the blender or something. But it's okay. The other thing you can do is if you steam out your beets, you can always oh, I should probably add it into there. You can always see, the beets make everything beautiful. I added some beets to the popsicles that we made for Austin and Ava, and you put it in the blender, and the beets make it this gorgeous, 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 beautiful color. So I'm just going to add beets to the oil, to the liquid, so that way it makes the donuts a beautiful pink color. Because beets just make everything beautiful. Okay, so adding there. So now we're going to mix the ingredients together. So you can kind of see like the beets like already stained my hand because that's how beautiful they are. And then it's already starting to color this. Okay, Eva, you ready? You already mixed it together? So we're going to mix the wet and dry ingredients together, and then we're going to stir in gently the diced strawberries, and you don't want to over mix because then it tastes kind of gummy and chewy. You ready? You put the flour in, Eva? You ready? Okay. Probably more than a spoon at a time. Okay, go ahead and put it in. Nice work, Eva. So we're going to stir it up.
I want to do it.
Okay, let me stir it up and then you can stir it, Eva. Mixing the ingredients together. Check out the beets is giving it this gorgeous color. Okay, it said not to over mix, but I don't really want clumps of flour in my food either. So it's hard to, okay. So then we're going to gently stir in the half a cup of diced strawberries. I don't know, Ava. Don't eat it yet. We got to bake it first. Okay, so I'm gently folding it in. My mom says I'm not very gentle, so don't mind me. Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way. So we can try to see if we can pour this in. See if we can pour this in, huh, Ava? Put down another clean mat. And then we'll get rid of this. Let's see if we can pour this in, Ava. What do you think? Kind of saves us from piping, which is nice.
No.
I think piping is a better idea, honestly. You want to leave the hole in the middle, so maybe we'll clean that up afterwards. Yeah, I think piping is easier, but since there's strawberries involved, I've never baked something with strawberries involved before, like actual like pieces of fruit. We've tried making spiced apple donuts, and we've tried, can you see this? Hopefully you can see it. We tried making spiced apple donuts before, and you know, none of the stuff we had before actually had pieces of real fruit in. So we'll see. And if you don't have enough batter for all your donuts, you can always add water to the remaining ones, so that way it cooks evenly. You're supposed to only fill these up like 2/3 full, but this recipe said fill it all the way, so they look bigger and fluffier. So it's kind of torn. Okay. Yeah, so clearly we're not gonna have enough batter for all the donuts, so then we'll fill the remaining pans with water, so that everything cooks evenly. And there's not a ton of strawberry in the last part, so I'm going to go ahead and dice up some more strawberries to add. Right, Ava?
Your lip.
Huh?
You put my lip.
Put it in your lip? Okay, so I'm trying to clear out the holes. Make sure there's some holes in the middle, so that it actually turns out like donuts. Okay.
You put my lip.
You tasted it? Does it taste good?
Yeah.
Okay, so don't mind me while I dice some strawberries on the side over here to add a little bit more to the batter. Probably didn't mix it well enough. Okay, so I diced some strawberries in. Add some. So the cool thing about that cutting board is bendable. I think because I was folding it too gently, so it didn't quite get to the bottom. Okay, so then we're gonna keep keep filling these in. I think it's supposed to make like 6 full-size donuts or something. These are mini donuts, perfect for kids. And Ava's having fun over here tasting the batter. Are you having fun testing the batter, Ava?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think we have enough for another donut. I'm just going to attempt to fill the ones that look kind of empty. I think I had too much chocolate today because my heart rate seems kind of high. So I had some green tea this morning, and then I had some chocolate while Ava was taking a nap in the car while Austin was at jiu-jitsu. And then Ava, of course, likes anything pink, so she asked for some strawberry donuts. She's just interested in the icing. So with the icing, it calls for like powdered sugar to make the icing. So if you're kind of like anti-refined sugar, you can use the monk fruit sweetener, and then you can put it into like a fine powder, and you can mix it with cornstarch, and then you can use that to make powdered sugar instead of like actual.
I like green juice.
Okay, we'll fill the other 2 containers.
I like green juice.
Like green juice?
Yeah.
Yeah? We'll fill the other 2 containers with water. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Oh, we're back?
So, yeah, so the frosting calls for powdered sugar. And if you're kind of like anti-refined sugar, like as many of us are, because we're feeding our kids, you could always use some monk fruit sweetener and grind it up in the coffee grinder and put it into a fine powder and mix it with cornstarch. I'm not sure what the proportion is. Or you can buy this already as powdered sugar, which it already exists. I would buy the unbleached stuff. This is the stuff we got at Costco, so it's bleached. But it's monk fruit and a sugar alcohol called ethanol. So it's pretty processed, but it's not sugar. It's not refined sugar in that way. Okay, so this is what the donuts look like. We're gonna put in the oven at 350 degrees. How long are we supposed to bake it for, Ava? So it's 350. Let's see, 350 for 10 to 12 minutes.
The light.
10 to 12 minutes.
I want the light. The light.
You want to turn the oven light?
Yeah.
So Ava likes me to turn the oven light so she can look at it. Okay, so 10 to 12 minutes when donuts have risen and batter is no longer wet. And then sit 5 minutes before removing from the pan. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the frosting. I was looking up some gluten-free plant-based recipes, and I thought it'd be cool to share with you on video as we make it. Okay, so for the glaze, we're going to do 1/2 cup of strawberries diced, 2 cups of powdered sugar. Maybe let's do 1 cup of powdered sugar, and then 1 to 2 tablespoons of water, or you can use like almond milk or something. So she said to make the glaze, add the strawberries, powdered sugar, and 1 tablespoon of the water to a food processor. Process till smooth. Add more if you need to, but to thin out the glaze a bit. And then dip the donuts into the glaze and place on a wire rack to set. Donuts are best eaten on the same day. really not camera shy. This is our food processor. Okay, so what are you doing, Ava?
I'm going to touch my phone.
Huh?
I touched this phone.
Are you touching the phone?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's our food processor. I'm going to dice some strawberries, and I'm gonna, since we're putting in the food processor, then it's perfect to so we need a 1/2 cup of strawberries diced. One. I don't think it really needs to be diced because we're going to put it in the food processor. So I'm going to see if we can make it a thinner glaze, and then I'm going to add some steamed beets so that the color is beautiful. Okay. So our strawberries in here, Ava. So instead of dicing them, I'm just going to turn the food processor on. Oh, is it turned on? Okay. Okay, so what did you do with that spatula, Ava?
I don't know.
Oh, here it is. Here's the spatula. So it's this gorgeous color because I put in some beets. Let me rinse this off since Ava licked the crap out of it. Okay, so you can see it's this gorgeous color. Isn't that beautiful?
I did it.
So it's this gorgeous color. Check that out.
No.
What?
No.
Okay. Oh, sorry. This is the lid that goes on here. And so it said 2 cups of powdered sugar. We're going to start with 1 and see how it goes. Let me get some scissors.
I want to finish. I need scissors.
You need scissors?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's powdered sugar. There's some maple syrup up here. I'm just going to throw it in. Waste not, want not, right? Okay. So then now we're going to add in, let's try with 1 cup of, we can probably use this we were using earlier for the flour.
Taste it.
Okay.
Taste it, Mom.
I'm okay, Eva.
Why?
So we're going to put in 1 cup of powdered sugar. It's a little less than a cup. We'll blend it, see how it looks. It's probably not going to be thick enough. But if it's a thin glaze and Ava just ends up eating just the glaze off the donuts, I'm okay with that versus using a thick glaze. Hold on, Ava. We're gonna mix it with the food processor. You ready? Yummy? Even the strawberry alone without the glaze is great. Okay. So this is the glaze. It's probably a little thin, so maybe we do need to add more than. But it's very sweet. So I'm thinking it's fine. I'm just gonna wait for the donuts to bake, and then we'll dip into the glaze, and we'll set it, and then we'll send you some pictures, and we'll send you the recipe. Thanks for watching. And I'll try to remember to post all of the tools I used in here so you can bake your own strawberry pink donuts for your favorite princess daughter. Can you say bye, Ava?
Bye.
Here's to you living a soul elevated life.